Which really, I'm curious where these bans are going. And look at the respect that JL has garnered from Nemesis
Sheesh.
here.
Okay.
Going with a Hoopa ban here. Gonna have to force JL on some other Pokemon. Charizard banned and Slowbro as well. So we've got Mimikyu available, Zoinks, for Nemesis, for Trainer.
Yeah, how do you not first pick Mimikyu here, right? That is my snap decision, but no, it won't be.
Wow.
Again, this Leafeon has been absolutely crushing it in the polls. It did not.
Yeah, for sure.
It did not win either game in our last set. However, Trainer LGC has been picking this Pokemon up. Kratos picked it back to back as well. So we've seen a lot of this Pokemon in particular. Luminosity Gaming, though, going back to some old favorites as well.
Okay.
The old Umbreon Blissey duo, one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean it's a tried and true duo, right? It's just high quality picks for their roles. It still gives you tons of malleability through the rest of your draft. Doesn't force you to play a certain way. And really, it took away a great support option out of Nemesis. I was going to say, I would be shocked if Kira picks Clefable in that position. But Cerulege, Snorlax makes a hair more sense to me.
Yeah, Asmo loves this Snorlax, eh? I like it a lot, too. It's one of my favorite Pokemon to play. I personally like the Mamoswine a little bit more. But that is really interesting. So, what are we going Top Path Umbreon or Top Path Mamoswine?
That's what I was going to ask you, my friend. I would love to see Aggro Swine right here in this position. Kira going to get this late Clefable if that's where they want to end up. Yeet hovering Espeon, not a bad choice. Not a bad choice. I'm surprised we're not seeing more Sylveon personally.
Yeah.
But really, my eyebrows are still raised at this Mamoswine pick.
Also, who forced Lutano to put on an EXP share? In what ranked situation was
Criminal
LG
behavior.
Lutano strapping on the light bulb going, no, wait, it's over. Okay, no. I actually thought we were maybe going to get a Dragapult game. I would have popped out of my chair. But no, it will be the Blue Shifu for Overlord. So double Defender and a Blissey alongside that Urshifu. That is one of the tankiest compositions I think you could draft up. And it will be that Umbreon going top path. Double stacking. I think Umbreon likes doing that a whole lot better. Dang, this is right out of Pierre's playbook.
Yeah, foul play Snarl out of Lutano going to that top path. We've seen the value it can bring. We've seen how strong Umbreon just is, period. Drafting it early meant they could have pivoted somewhere else with Lutano if they wanted to. And really shows why you go to a Blissey Umbreon first pick, because you can really adjust around it, right? It's kind of like in the days of yore when you'd pick tree early, because you can either go aggro tree top path or have it be true defender.
Yeah.
I really like where Luminosity's draft ended up. Nemesis, I've got to see big time plays out of Metallic, LGC, Trainer as usual, because they are giving a lot of equity into this Pokemon and into this player.
Also, we're going Clefable. Like, that is a Pokemon that I feel I see sometimes, but only in ranked, and also it is dripped out in the McDonald's Hollowware.
Yeah, geez,
I love it. That's actually my favorite thing. Never mind. No more Clefable slander. I'm all in. But yeah, there's some interesting picks on the side of Nemesis. Obviously, Heat Fan is a player that is kind of almost well known at this point for playing a little bit of strange stuff. Points at the Alola Ninetales from match 1. But now we're going to see that Espeon again. I mean, if anything stands true or the test of time, it's that Yifan likes high damage Pokemon that are difference makers in team fights and farming moments, right? They don't like to be on these more passive attacker options. They like to be a difference maker in the match, and sometimes you gotta just enable your playmaking players with powerful picks, and I'm here for it.
Nemesis, Luminosity, Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 5, Grand Finals, Winners Week. Let's get after it. We've got the double invade. We've got the coverage here out of Joey on the Mamoswine helping out that little Kubfu. And it looks like Luminosity, at least off the rip, is successful in making sure that Overlord is on track.
I can't believe we didn't talk about Overlord's fashion choice either. I'm chat below, but they do have that brand new, just dropped today, event pass for Urshifu. They got the monocle, the coat, but right now, poor little Kubfu has just got a very adorable little jacket.
Yeah, and great work early out of Trainer, going straight for this team right now. KO streak of 2, grabbing both lane Bunnelbees before Luminosity can, taking everything on their side of the map.
Dang, this is crazy. I mean, the player who inspired Kabi-Chance, it's got to be a vouch in your favor. Maybe Sarah Ledge trading a KO, so Metallic finally getting on the board to join their teammate Trainer. So far, they have been dominating. Overlord working their own magic, though.
Nice little Ice Fang to position them around Otter there to clean up the trash, getting another KO, keeping the seas clean out here. Surprised Overlord didn't actually get credit for that. That would have been a great character to get that experience, but you take it any way you can at this stage.
Yeah, honestly. And hey, getting to Mamoswine a little bit quicker probably doesn't hurt either. You know, Joey, though, is finding experience in their own way. Nice little boosted auto stun onto Aznable just to buy some time, at least to block them from joining this particular engagement, where Overlord is getting to work. Joey dodging that last move.
Yeah, I don't know if it was an eject button or a tackle. Didn't quite catch that, but that was a great way to get out of dodge quite literally, or dodge the big Rikishi butt about to crash land on your head out of Asm Snorlax. And now Luminosity kind of turned the tide. LGC found their footing early, but Luminosity clawing back in it.
Yeah, here we go. Luminosity Gaming getting a bit of momentum. Trader in Kira trying to defend this goal zone. Clefable, a pretty decent option, I guess, trying to shut down this blue Urshifu if they do go with that gravity. However, I think they might have already shown follow me. But, hey, Clefable still a massive amount of healing, but it is gravity. Try to lock down and dissuade some of these engagements.
Well, we've got a 3v3, but they're not actually interested in fighting, just going for the contestable wild farm and then sticking to their side of the map. We'll see where the next engagement comes. It usually, to me, feels like the instigator is commonly Overlord, and it looks like now they're just going to be able to start hitting into this Regirock and trying to bait in Nemesis.
Yeah, so far it's just Aznable showing face. Joey going to try to Earthquake in to cover any kind of retreat, and Aznable will have to try to rest to survive that one.
Well, unfortunately, Piloswine is down. Overlord gets caught in the Espeon Unite. They at least want to get the courtesy KO as they've popped their own. Only 6 hit on that chain. They're starting to rack them back up. Put it up to 15 before the Crame Unite is popped out and trying to get Overlord out of here. Metallic goes chase down and gets them chased down. Now they get to slip on this Regirock and see what JL can do, who is always in the nefarious ranges of Blissey. Egg Bomb secure, of course. And they're just moving around, Metallic ripping, and Asnable trying to get the spacing, and it looks like JL's just going to give up on it.
Yeah, players and Pokemon, some just really emerge as partnerships that are, they go beyond just either the player's individual skill or that Pokemon's significance in the meta. It is truly a memory scarred into us, and JL and out-securing on Blissey Egg Bombs is well known to the entire globe. So, I think, yes, you have every right to try to chase that Blissey out of any wild Pokemon exchange.
The only person I think that has an edge on the JL support secure is Ender, specifically on Blissey with the Egg Bomb secures. We've seen so many just back-breaking cheese maneuvers by Ender as the support player, just hyping up and carrying the team there. Now we're scrapping through. We're going through. Metallic goes for an engagement. Doesn't have their Unite move anymore. Not finding any purchase. Nice Bliss assistance on Overlord, who's able to get a couple KOs back the other way on the chase down here. Clefable's down. Kira sent packing, and now Overlord can use what they've got in the tank to work through this Regieleki. Trainer LGC just trailing around the Umbreon counterpart here as Yeet steps up for the smoke. They pop their Unite move. They know they've got the support on the backside of Metallic. Can they get the KO? No. Overlord's too big and strong. They're already level 12 Zoinks. Otter popping their Cram Unite, and now they're forcing all of Nemesis out as they take the Regieleki.
I see the idea for that play, but I honestly, I'm not going to lie, I don't really agree with it. I think I wish we would have held on to that Psychic Solaire a little bit longer and just, it's a risk on that Regieleki HP, but I think it might have been better utilized if we could have taken that fight in tandem instead of started splitting the difference and making that essentially 2 1v1s for Overlord to take in a row. But oh well, next objective on the map is spawning in about 20 seconds. This will be this basement Regi. A few Pokemon who really need to scale have kind of already reached that moment. Level 10 on Joey's Mamoswine, level 13 on the Urshifu. Metallic, though, struggling for levels. Only at level 12 on the Sarah Ledge, only level 11 on Trainer's Leafeon. There is definitely a certain need for levels that Regi's could help with.
And now Joey's level 10. Great engagement out of the Mamoswine here. Going to be able to Earthquake Ice Fang around some key targets. They go straight after them, and they're trying to put them in a blender, but Luminosity, after that Mamoswine Unite, stomping the ground and rattling everybody to their core. is trying to get it done. Sick Earthquake on top of Ceruledge, on top of Metallic to get that KO. Now Luminosity just claiming control of the bottom part of this map. We're going to see how they approach the Regirock.
Yeah, we traded Defender Unites, right? But we still have Umbreon technically. Lutano gonna go for the Ingage, and that's an immediate KO onto the Leafeon. Block trying to push out a few enemy targets. Lutano work at the back line, but it's Joey grabbing single targets one by one.
Otter getting a couple in this Gulpling Gatling missile, shooting down their targets because there's so many in that sphere of fire. And now on the backside, we just have Overlord just gingerly pressing this Regirock. They take that objective, and they've got everybody in the world to take out this gold zone.
Another moment, right, where a team fight pops off for Nemesis. They immediately target down Overlord's Urshifu. They spend a lot of resources to do so, and that's basically all they're able to accomplish. Cram able to knock out Snorlax mid-block. Crazy stuff. And now it's just sort of Luminosity's Gaming's world right now. Poor Nemesis just playing catch-up.
I'll tell you what, Luminosity looks in World's form right now. I mean, they are not missing a beat. They're moving very well in tandem. Metallic with a great KO on Otter, but again, the prize remains Overlord. They are 14 as I'm speaking to you, Zoinks, and the biggest thing moving.
Yeah, we could see a 15 Urshifu before Rayquaza. It is absolutely in the realm of possibility. A whole central area to try to take. We have JL actually scoring 40 points in with a back cap. Yeet Fang going to try to chase them down, but will not have the damage to take out a full HP Blissey. They got to just take that one on the chin.
Yeah, and JL is going to take a heavy slam on the chin, try to pin them against the wall, but there's nobody there to follow up, right? They're just going for positional advantage in the middle here, because Nemesis is going to need this Ray the way this is shaking out.
100%. Lutano does still have the Umbreon passive at a pretty decent amount of HP. It's not Running Wish, but Blissey can heal them back up, and of course a Recall can fast-track that moment. Urshifu not at level 15, but you gotta imagine they're close. We are watching the clear mini-maps, and are you kidding me? Almost at that number as we speak.
Metallic hitting Rayquaza to try and draw in Luminosity, but we're slow playing this fight here. Overlord doesn't care. Darts in, darts back. Dodges the heavy slam, doesn't matter. Look at Joey going straight, excuse me, that's Lutano, straight to the back line with the aggro Umbreon play, and actually forces Nemesis out of the middle.
Yeah, it's a good push. Also, they were waiting for that gravity to go down, right? Overlord kind of backing in, backing out, finally sees that cooldown pop from Kira, and that's when you see that aggressive push with the foul play. Worked out so far, now there's another one.
Well, there's the gravity down, and that forces out all the Unite moves. Nice Bliss Assist from long range, going to keep them popping. They use their Unite move, they're going for more targets. They're hitting Asnable, but they get straight to LGC in the back line, hitting all the way up to 20 hits, popping the Cram Unite Izada right in the middle, and they're finding all the targets quickly. Kira is down, Clavable is down, there's no sustain left for this team. They're bullied all the way back to their tier 2. Luminosity's looking for blood as Lutano peels up top to score that Hundo Burger. Ice Fang reposition deals with that opposing defender, and now they're just sitting on their opposing goal zone, just punching them in the face. Hundo Burger on the backside goes in. Luminosity can peel back because their job for right now is done.
Impeccable team fight. Like, we've been talking about this Luminosity Gaming roster for a whole long time, Dupes. Next, this is some of the cleanest play I think we have seen them looking right now. World beware, honestly. That fight was perfect. They locked down that corridor with basically only Overlord and Joey extending out of it. Everybody else just make sure that there's no way for Nemesis to try to get in behind them and gain any positioning around Rayquaza. Perfect framing of that team fight, and, well, it's a big moment for them as they're going to take the lead in this best of 3.
Luminosity up 1-0. I don't know if you caught it on the mini-map, but Metallic was the only player for Nemesis on the hook for going to try and deal with this Rayquaza. Otter knew what the mission was, and no, they don't stand toe-to-toe in a 1v1 up-in-your-face fight, but they burn a lot of time and resources out of Metallic, and really kind of suffocating them off of the other opportunity to win this game that they had. So Nemesis down 1-0, and if Luminosity's playing like this, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
100%. So far, that is the case. 431, their final scoreline. Overlord taking the MVP with 9 KOs and 7 assists. So, interesting to note, a lot of Otter's KOs obviously being helped by that pathing duo.
Jesus.
And this one they rotated into, but 121,000 damage.
Yeah, that's a way to make a mark out here in Unite Mike's Mayhem. 121,000 damage in a Blue Shifu game in the face of a Clefable Gravity, and that just shows, essentially the detriment of Clefable, because high skill players understand what gravity does if they're caught unawares. But Overlord was very meticulously positioning and engaging themselves to force that out. And then the whole team played around the gravity so that Overlord could take over while it was on cooldown. You said it, that final team fight was amazing. And they're like, no notes. No notes.
It was kind of cool. They play with Overlord almost on a bungee cord in situations like this. It feels like they strap it to his back like a misbehaving child at Disney World with the leash backpack, and he just runs out for a little bit, gets some damage. The defender core yanks him back in. Joey and Lutano take over for a little bit, push up with their defenders, bait out a couple of cooldowns, and then they let Overlord run back in again, and he jumps in there with the Fists of Fury and starts taking some KOs and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a really well done composition. It's obviously a very patient composition when you're running double defender and a Cramorant who's mostly going to be backline focused, and basically Urshifu being your one big melee tool. It's not easy to pull off compositions like that, right? It's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things that could go wrong, frankly, and they really lock it down the entire way. So yeah, Luminosity Gaming proving they're one of the best in the entire world. Nemesis really struggling to find answers almost the entire matchup. I mean, Metallic Saraledge looked great. Trainer was able to pick up a couple of early KOs, but I feel like after that, quiet out of both those players.
Yeah, I love my support players, and I love gassing them up when they have the opportunity to. Overlord got caught in one gravity, and it was the second time they went in that Ray fight, and it was the longest range Blissey Unite possible.
It was good.
After Overlord had to pop their Unite move to stay standing to save them. And then that immediately allowed the whole team to kind of spin from south to northwest into the central area, kick off that fight, and Otter was in the tall grass, right on the verge, and as soon as everybody was ushered into their wheelhouse, bang, you saw that big circle go out, and you saw the knockouts starting to happen. Yeah. I mean, everything about that team fight was great. Everybody leveraged their responsibility incredibly well. But I have to highlight that moment when it happened. I had to.
For sure. Hey, you're a big fan of Blissey Unite moves, so am I. Especially when they're enabling high-level plays like that. Whether it's they're on the verge of getting knocked out, or whether it's creating a situation where your damage-dealing player can just walk through the enemy team. I'm all for it. It always looks so good. It's honestly why Blissey is one of my favorite supports in the entire game. Competitively, I actually don't really like playing Blissey, but I do think competitively it is so exciting to watch. And of course, it's one of my favorite draft choices of all time. It is the Umbreon with that Blissey pick. Of course, you take one, you don't really want to you don't really want to give the other team the other, so just take both.
Just take both. I'll tell you what, now that I just gassed up JL and I sent some money to his PayPal, I'm really expecting a Sableye game next. So we can have that. Okay. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a little story while we're waiting to get into the next game. I hit a 4-player Sableye Unite into the best Ceruledge follow-up I've ever seen, and it was one of the most satisfying things I've been a part of in Pokemon Unite. Dang. It was just like I was in the tall grass, they were rotating down to Ray Pit, 4-player Unite, and it was just the Ceruledge springboarding over the top and popping their Unite move. Just pure business. It was awesome. I want to see that. I want to see that on the big stage. I'd like to see it in Unite Mike's Mayhem. So JL, don't let me down. I sent you the money you asked. Pick Sableye.
Okay. Just as a heads up, we have a crash before the draft happened, so we're gonna get a restart in as soon as the draft screen is over. But once that happens, we'll get that. So the results of the draft, if the players are jumping in, wondering what the heck's going on, just know that these drafts aren't going to be happening. But potentially, we will get that Sableye dupes next. I have had the utmost pleasure of playing alongside your Sableye. It has been a whole lot of fun. You actually are goated with the sauce on that Pokemon. It's a fun Pokemon to play with. Playing against it, not my favorite thing in the world, but
it's the drizzling shits playing against it. Sure. It's the drizzling shits playing against it.
How do you honestly feel about where that Pokemon stands in the metagame right now?
With Umbreon stunk so high, I think it gets better. I think it's relegated right now to in a very unique situation, there is an opportunity for it to be the right call. It's certainly not something you just jam every game. That's my stance.
Okay, pretty even. Knowing you know, pretty even keeled response. That's fair enough. Who knows?
I mean, I wish I could say it's a must pick every game. I will say, how you played is incredibly important. And if you don't have everybody on board, like if one player on your team thinks like you just griefed the entire squad by selecting it, then it doesn't work. It just doesn't. Like everybody needs to be on board. And I'll tell you what, in all the stacks I play in, nobody's ever on board, but they are so good that they cover for me anyways, which is terrific. Like I'll say something like, all right, yeah, I played so many support games. Like, dude, this is our second game. Like, yeah, but I played Blissey last game. So like, let me get a Goblin game in. They're like, all right, fine. But then can you play real stuff after?
Well, I'm glad that some people are being subjected to that experience alongside just me, but that is good. Very, very good to hear. But okay, folks, the draft is now just finished. We'll be resetting the lobby here in just a minute, and then we will get back into our finals. Reminder, this is a one-game advantage now for Luminosity Gaming in this best-of-3 set. Winner take all for $350 total prize pool. $100 of that gifted to us by Ingage, an awesome sponsor who is an esports organization running out of Europe. I'm going to throw this to a very quick video while we get this next lobby set up, and when we come back, we will have game number 2 on the onset for you. We'll see you in just a second. All right, everybody, we are back. Thank you so much for checking that out. And make sure to check out the Engage Weeklies happening every Friday at 8 p.m. UK time. I don't know the actual time zone, but whatever time it is in the United Kingdom, around 8 p.m. over there. There'll be some very cool weekly games to enter and compete in if you're in Europe, or potentially even if you're in NA, apparently, and go have some fun playing some competitive Pokemon Unite. I personally really enjoy competitive Pokemon Unite.
Facts. Also, what I enjoy is kind of fit, kind of fat. And despite me duffing our own exclamation point command in chat, I did get it right. We did get it right the second time. Check out that More Chomp shirt. Zoinks, do we have a moment for you to show it off real quick?
Yeah, baby. Let me turn around.
Zoinks is going to show off the More Chomp shirt. Unite 15 to get 15% off of this shirt right here. As you can see, once Zoinks turns around, it is Machamp holding a big old mug of root beer and a donut, a kettlebell, and a dumbbell, just getting jacked out of control. And the quality of their clothes is really good. It's really great body positivity based company. I love all of their merchandise. I'm actually the one that reached out to them to try and get them involved. They loved what we were doing, and we're thankful for that. So please, if you have the capacity to, and you like us, please support them. Whether today, tomorrow, some other day, doesn't matter. Just keep your eyes on their product. It's really good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's where we're at.
All right. I'm going to throw one more plug out there. This is kind of a lofty, very in the future, just as we got people in here waiting to watch the finals. Reminder, everybody, in the not too distant future, Deuce Snacks and I are going to start talking about the next Unite Mike's Charity Classic tournament. That'll be in probably at least a couple of months' time, but potentially will be a big charity event that we had so much fun running on the channel last year. It was like a 16-hour stream that involved a Unite tournament. We had a blast. I think a lot of people in the community liked it too, so we're probably going to be running that back. Keep your eyes peeled on Unite Mike's socials and all that jazz for cool stuff in that regard.
Yeah, we try to target that down. I think September, October is the timeline. It's usually what sits good into the lull of the off season. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, a big shout out to Gamma, our observer tonight, that's helping us run this thing. And of course, a big shout out always to the biggest of bridges, Big Bridget in the chat. Hashtag Manhattan Bridge, hashtag Roebling Bridge, hashtag London Bridge. All of those things. If you punch those into Twitter, you will click on them, and it won't get you anywhere near Bridget's account.
No, we're talking about Wikipedia races again. I don't know how we did it. But
if we all do our part, those won't be synonymous with Bridget right now, but they will be if we work hard. So there you go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, exactly. All right, reminder of everybody where you're at. We're here in the Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 5 Finals. Reminder, it was Team Nemesis, going by a different name at that time, that won Season 4, and therefore they got invited to tonight. But our matchup tonight was set up by a few different tournaments. We had 3 weekly qualifiers, making 3 different teams enter into the Unite. We had Orange Juicers and Mighty Ducks already, who have been eliminated. Now it's Luminosity Gaming, who are currently up 1-0 over Team Nemesis. And now we are headed into the draft screen for the first time. Luminosity in that second pick position 2 games in a row.
Second pick position, but it treated them well in the second game. They reacted very successfully to what Nemesis put together. Nemesis taking that first spot, they do get the choice because they lost the first game swing. So they put themselves here again. We'll see if they can make something a little bit better come to fruition here for them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that is Nemesis, not a team that is known for, rolling over after a tough matchup. They're always one to bounce back. But with Mimikyu on the table, Sarah on the table, and I guess technically let's throw Leafy on into the conversation as well, because that is always going to be that first pick for Nim.
I am just, it almost feels like a crazy radical decline out of this Mimikyu conversation here in between these two teams. And Nemesis was one of the ones that was a early Mimikyu believer. And the fact that they've kind of completely fallen off of it is a bit surprising. Lutano locking in Cerulege is not. JL has a deep support pool. I don't think they really care where they end up. Kira grabbing Hoopa right now, quality choice.
After banning Blissey, heck yeah, that is sweet. Also, Kira, what is Leftovers doing on that Hoopa? I mean, I'm in. I'm all in. Normally for Spicy, it's a floatstone, but hey, if you want the half-eaten apple, you lock in the half-eaten apple, Kira.
Yeah, this is like the... Overlord's just baiting me right now. This has to be a bait. 100% bait. Otter grabbing Cram. JL, please! Bait. How much do they want the money? You got a game to give.
I don't think...
Sable Sours in chat.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Well, we won't see Sableye in game. Maybe we can see it in chat. Who knows? Maybe in a game 3. I do like the adaptation of Asmodee locking in the Mamoswine, going away from the Snorlax. I do like that Pokemon. I think it is. It does have its place in the metagame, but just, again, this Cerulege, and most likely another melee-focused Pokemon coming out of Overlord. This Mamoswine is just too strong in situations like that. You gotta lock it in.
Whoa. Locking in a Garchomp here is Overlord. We'll see if in the prep phase they rotate anything through to... it looks like Lutano's really been just running into that top path, and there we go. There's the switch, which is a little bit more customary to where we see Garchomps go.
In Central, you think? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I thought Overlord's been running mid, right? So them switching to Lutano,
Oh,
Lutano taking a top is more customary, yeah?
absolutely. Yep, I am. Yes, thank you for explaining that to my poor tired eyes that could not figure that out. But you are 100% correct. Lutano gonna bring the Garchomp with Rapid Fire Scarf, Scope Lens, Focus Band. Notable exception, no Muscle Band locked into Lutano. They are not as worried about Objective Shred, apparently, but a little bit more on the KO front. If they can land some big Scope Lens crits, maybe it'll be worth it, but they're going up against a Metallic Gyarados. Magikarp obviously not having a lot of great matchups in the top side, but Garchomp, one that absolutely hurts.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that one looks difficult for Lutano. Certainly, or excuse me, for Metallic, because Lutano's on this Garchomp. Garchomp is, yes, a late-stage evolution Pokemon, but it does respectable in the early parts of the game, unlike a lot of its...
Yeah. I agree. Now, the one thing about this Garchomp is that it is going into the Mamoswine, which is going to be a challenge. We will see what they can pull off. We'll have Metallic hopping into the top side. The cute little heart spray is actually so adorable. I don't think I've actually seen it yet in-game, but I kind of love it.
It does look great. It does look great, and I think something more players should adopt. Especially Otter on this cram, right? Because it seems like they are kind of in cram jail. They love it there, by the way. 3 square meals a day. That's where they want to be. No worries. Azumarill going straight across the way for the crosstown shootout. And poor Overlord seeing that Acelgor is going to get taken. And now, Azumarill out. I'm not even going to say guy Thief at night. Just kind of walking away.
Yeah, Thief in broad daylight, for sure. Your typical daytime burglar. That is what Azumarill is trying to cosplay at the moment. And so far, pretty successful run. Overlord will go to the bottom side of the map again, but huge engage by Azumarill, teed up by the Leafeon. Excellent execute.
Whoa, you called it just right. I mean, that was a great communication call out of Nemesis. That's really what makes that happen. It's just very clear, crisp communication. Not a beat was missed. Quick 2 KOs, and now they're looking to pounce again.
Yeah, somehow Overlord's walking away still at level 5. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, but either way, they're going to be in an okay position, but it will be Otter and Joey hurting the most out of that exchange. Metallic, I think, is almost full on that effort gauge. I didn't get a great look at it, but I have to imagine they are very close to that Gyarados stage. I may be feeling a little bit better about some of these engagements already. Yeah, they're literally on a knife's edge to evolving into that Gyarados. Basically just needs to chill out for a couple more seconds, and we got the big flying fish.
We got the big flying fish already ready to pounce on Shale as soon as they show themselves. They did. They get astonished, stunned quickly. The portal is down, but that's an aggro portal. Metallic can't quite make it back. Not quite in rough waters, though, as the Gabite lets them off the hook. Lutano not willing to chase.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there for Metallic. I think they missed the Dragon Breath on the Eldegoss. They don't get the increased attack speed, but either way, ooh, big lock on the Umbreon, but Overlord, great coverage.
Great coverage. Joey's going to be able to walk away, and they have to, right? If they stuck around for another moment, they were going to get KO'd. No questions asked. Metallic just on the hunt, though. They are this Gyarados. Made it in decent time, but it really needs to become impactful quickly, because if it falls behind, it has a heck of a lot harder of a time being solid than you'd think otherwise.
This feels like it's happy hour moment too, when it's already hit that power spike. You're just at Gabite on the other side. There's definitely a lot of play that Metallic will have in this matchup. However, it's not going to be just them, as Overlord is going to strike into that top side.
Dips right under the wall, goes straight for that action. Nobody falls down yet, but Metallic at half HP is going to be a problem. Dragon Rush going to pull to the other side. Eldegoss goes down after the 2-step. Trainer's looking for another target. Overlord finds Metallic. Now we're going straight after Overlord. They are getting folded like laundry. They're able to dip out, dive out, not get KO'd, and they flip the script on LGC on the back of Otter. Kira just hanging out, trying to see if they can do anything in tandem with Yeet, but they are unsuccessful.
Yeah, big fan of force play there. The Emerald 2-step only hits one target. The splash damage just a little bit too short to soften up anybody else, and that made it really difficult for Trainer to, well, let's be frank, 1v3 in a spot like that. They still were able to take a couple of KOs for their name, but Overlord being able to make it out is a big overextension by the Leafeon. Great punish from Luminosity, but they're not translating it into a Regieleki. Instead, they're actually going to pivot down to the Regice.
Well, Asmal is right there looking to jump. Earthquake, Ice Fang, tandem combination, repositioning here, but there's no support. They're on the verge of getting knocked out. They're trying to do some clever shenanigans, but they ultimately get defeated here. As Trainer LGC is in, that's Roulette Unite goes in, doesn't hit anything, not even the broadside of a barn, but somehow still finding some value to at least get Nemesis off their backs for a moment, and the Regice is taken during this exchange. And now we're using some Unite moves. Garchomp is using theirs just to get back to pad. Can they get a courtesy yeet? They can't. Cram picks it up. Otter getting credit. And Lutano is just looking at themselves like, well, at least I'm a Garchomp. Yes, I used my Unite move for no real value, but I guess in that moment, just standing tall is value enough.
Yeah, and just a few moments before they really did the Garchomp thing, right? Regice got ripped off the map extremely quickly thanks to those boosted auto stacks. So, still popping off in at least whatever fashion they can. Metallic is Unite moving, but they are so low on HP, basically just being kept up by that shield thanks to their Unite move. They gotta retreat all the way back to that goal zone.
Man, we've seen a couple Unites be popped, but not for a lot of value. Metallic actually charging up their bounce and then getting away as soon as the engagement happens. Metallic reading the writing on the wall and getting out of there here. Putting pressure on, but still not finding any knockouts. Luminosity down on the scoreboard, but I feel like they've got a better control of the pacing of this game.
Yeah, it feels like the pressure they've had is really, really strong. Any of their Unite moves, well, outside of the Overlord missing that one, have been pretty impactful. And now Lutano is just waiting in the wings to find a specific target they can pull. Probably has an eject button if they wanted to use it. Eject button to one side, Dragon Rush to the other. But no one giving them the time of day. They're going to have to just pull it all the way back. JL healing them back up.
I actually think Lutano was trying to get in and draw out that Espeon Unite, right? Just get just a little too close with the Eldegoss support that they can still kind of make it out if that becomes the case, because they don't quite have their Unite move back. Metallic looking for a target. Kira, nice little Phantom Force to displace some members of Luminosity. We are rings unbound. Nice Dragon Rush on top of Kira, and they're going to try and stun some players down. They get a knockout on Otter right off the rip. Lutano pops their Unite move, but only flip grip back on top of the Mamoswine, and now they're looking for a back-end engage. Cotton Cloud Crash going to keep them topped off a little bit, but the rage continues, and it's the Mamoswine's rage that reigns supreme. Garchomp is down. Nice Gyarados Unite to spin up too. Overlord half HP, almost gets bounced on. We're trying to pivot here, but that's an amazing readjustment out of Joey and that Umbreon, getting a KO and really bringing Luminosity back to life in this exchange. Now they're looking to collapse on Metallic. We're repositioned with the foul plate. Ceruledge is relentless. That's a Unite move that finds its targets. Two more down, and this goal zone's gonna be gone as well.
Where did Joey come from, bro? Like, at some point, all of a sudden, an Umbreon just swings in and foul plays every member on the enemy side and yoinks them all into a situation where Overlord can just profit. Big Unite move from Overlord to really seal the deal on that fight. But yet again, another team fight that really feels defined by Joey's fantastic Umbreon play, defending, attacking, wherever they're needed. This defender is always positioned well.
They really, really are. I'm looking at this Nemesis team, and I think you're seeing the value of Rex. Kira is a phenomenal, phenomenal support player. Not to understate that, but Rex is the shot caller for this team, and they're playing a little bit more disjointed than we've seen out of them as of late, and because of it, where they're not finding the value where they normally would. Now, Luminosity is kind of getting the break speed off them there in that little exchange. Regirock still stands. Nemesis needs to take this off the map quickly. We're resetting here, but here comes Lutano and Joey. Are they even going to make a push? Doesn't seem like it. Lutano
at a pretty low level 12 on their Garchomp. It's kind of the tough part of this Pokemon when you're playing it in a composition like this. You're sort of being one of the main sources of crowd control for your team, which you end up being a lot more patient. A lot of hiding in tall grass, a lot of just positioning at the start of team fights, so you're a little bit slower on the upkeep when it comes to farming or even getting little early KOs, so because of that, it's going to be a bit slower on the turn for Lutano. However, they should still hit 13. Problem is they are not going to be hitting that level 14 that Trainer LGC is at currently. Metallic also struggling to get to that level, but I do not know where they're set at right now. There it is, 13.
13 just ticked over. 5 seconds till Ray. Luminosity in the lead by 72 points. Nemesis up against it. They need to get cheeky here. Zoinks, let's walk through it.
All right, this is for the championship, potentially with Luminosity Gaming on that position. They have complete positioning over the top side of the map. Big engage from either Gyarados or Mamoswine could certainly open things up, but it's always a give or take. So you use those Unite moves before the Umbreon, because then you're giving up all those shields. It has to be the crowd control to be completely worth it. A very big gamble that potentially Nemesis is going to have to take, and Joey's on the flank.
Huge flank. We're bouncing back into the action, though. Otter's there to pick them up, forcing out the Umbreon Unite quickly. They are not reserved on that. Quickly finding a KO on Cram. The rings are unbound. They can go for some stuns. I just saw this Real Edge Unite pop on the backside. Did Overlord actually find anybody with it? No. We're scrambling around. Lutano straight back into the middle. They're starting to rip Rayquaza. Can Nemesis adjust? Do they know what's going on? They're drawn in. Aznable's caught in between 3 players. They're Dragon Rush down, put down, and beat down. Metallic sitting on top of this portal. They reset. Cotton Cloud Crash gonna pick up 2 players here for Luminosity. And as soon as they step back through, Kira's on the scramble here. They Phantom Force away, but Otter susses them out, and they are going to be gone. 2 players down now for Nemesis. Luminosity has the player advantage. Metallic's gonna have to do everything under the sun to pick up their team. They're jumping back through. They're trying to make something happen. Otter gets through the wall. They are leaving on just a sliver of health. Finally, Lutano's Unite is moved. Rayquaza's getting worked on. Metallic sees no other way through this. Yeet is chipping in as well. Rayquaza's at half. Otter has to step back in there, quickly KO by Metallic. Rayquaza's right there. Lutano's on the Razor's Edge. They're gone by Yeet. And now we have 2 players down back the other way. This is Nemesis' opportunity if they can get it. Rayquaza's so low. We're gonna see who secures. It's Nemesis! It's Nemesis! They've got 20 seconds. They need to get the burgers in Zoinks, and then these 2.
Metallic cracked on the sticks in that last team fight. Unbelievable. It all starts with them not taking that Hoopa portal to come back through, and instead going the long way, taking a long route all the way back. They landed some huge Dragon Breaths, basically solo out the Cramorant, take down the Garchomp as well, and of course get some scores in. A scoring race to end things, and now the time is up. We gotta wait for the final tally.
Whew. I didn't see Luminosity getting more points in, but it sounds like you did, and it was a razor large margin, even with 2 Hundo burgers in Zoinks. We'll see how this shakes out. Unite Mike's Mayhem determined. Luminosity ekes it out with the final end score.
80 points from JL go in at that final moment, and that is just enough to keep the lead. Luminosity Gaming 2-0ing not only Nemesis, but also Orange Users to become our Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 5 champions.
Holy smokes, Zoinks. JL peeling off right at the right time, understanding what their responsibility was, says even if we lose this thing, I can give our team a chance by getting a cheeky score. They did, and they did. Luminosity wins 2-0 in an absolute nail-biter against Nemesis, and what a phenomenal game to end Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 5 on. LG, Luminosity Gaming, your Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 5 champions. World champions? Question mark?
Hey, I'm not gonna say that the Unite Mike's buff goes crazy hard at the World Championships, but I'm not gonna say it, Doomsnacks. That's all I'm saying. I think that this team, poised the way they are right now, playing how efficiently and amazing they are right now, they have a solid chance at making a deep run. But for the right here, right now, Doomsnacks, they have also become our champions. Of course, winning the $350 prize pool of this event, which means they were also the winners of that week 3, I believe it was, winning the $100 prize pool there. So, a total of $450 worth of prize money from the Unite Mike's Mayhem series, as well as, of course, being invited to Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 6 for when and if it ever will return. It will return, but who knows when. So whenever that happens, Luminosity will be back.
Maybe we'll tie it into the Unite Mike's Charity Classic. That would be a cool thing to do. Maybe like have that be part of what we're doing there. But all that to be said, big shout out to all these teams that entertain us and join Unite Mike's Mayhem week in, week out. It's very exciting for us to support, obviously, these teams in our fledgling esports scene, but also, bring what I think is some pretty cool and rapid content to everybody, right? It's a low investment of time, a couple hours on a Wednesday to see some great play, and we're real proud of that. Just like we're proud of our sponsors, Zoinks. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. A few final shout-outs, of course, to Kinda Fit, Kinda Fat, a awesome workout apparel brand that is very size inclusive. They got a lot of fun stuff, a lot of Pokemon-themed merch, but also other pop culture stuff if you're interested in that. But specifically, if you're going over to their website with !KFKF in chat, you will find the More Chomp shirt. It's a Big Machamp holding a couple of weights, a couple of things of food and drink. And if you want to purchase that shirt, you could use code UNITE15 at checkout for 15% off. And then don't forget our amazing sponsors over at Ingage GG, an esports organization in Europe who are running weekly tournaments, sponsoring a team, and of course helping out a bunch of other events like ours tonight. So huge thank you to our friends across the pond for helping out run an amazing event, in my opinion.
It's been an absolutely amazing event. No doubt about it. Big shout out to Ingage as well, Kind of Fit, Kind of Fat as well, Gamma as well, Bridget as well, all of you that are here watching as well, our teams as well, Zoinks as well. And on that note, let's pack this thing up. Let's raid somebody. Please hang around, give us support. We got some great people in the community.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and hugs. We love you all.